Strengthening our community means honoring the rich, untold stories of our past. As we celebrate Juneteenth, we take a trip to the Black Cowboy Museum, founded by Larry Callies, where preserving history is a profound calling.
Well, God asked me to open up a Black Cowboy Museum in 2014. I had a saddle shop. Well, first of all, I'm gonna tell you why I talk like I do. I used to be a country and western singer. George Strait's manager was my manager. Clint Black's band was my band. I lost my voice in 1990. When I lost my voice, I lost my band and I lost my manager. But I'm a Christian first, and I'm a cowboy second. I know when God closes one big door, He opens up a big one. Before I lost my voice, I played for George Bush Sr. in 1990 at the Astrodome. Well, when I lost my voice in 1990, I thought that was it for me. I said, man, what am I gonna do? I started working on saddles. I started making chaps, repairing saddles. I had a little saddle shop right here in Rosenberg, Texas. But when I was fixing saddles, God asked me to open up a Black Cowboy Museum. 2 days later, a guy came into my shop. He was looking around, he saw an old telephone, he saw old sewing machines, he saw a bunch of old pictures on the wall, black cowboys, white cowboys. He said, man, what you got here? I said, I got a saddle shop. He said, no, I mean all this old stuff. I said, I just like looking at it when I come into work. He said, you ever thought about opening up a museum? I thought somebody came and told him what I had been thinking. But I said, I didn't tell anybody anything. So I said, man, I don't know how to open up a museum. He said, I do. He said, what you doing after 5 o'clock? I said, I guess I'm following you. 2 weeks later, I had a museum. Well, the first and most important artifact in this museum, actually, Netflix came here in 2018. And they wanted to film me. But they didn't want to film my sign, Jesus is Lord. I said, man, they asked me to take it down. I said, I'm not taking that down. I had a guy named Marvin working for me. He was helping me with the museum. He said, Mr. Larry, I'll take it down. He said, you don't know who this is. This is Netflix. I said, I don't care who it is. You know, I'm not taking my sign down. He took it down. Netflix started filming. An hour later, they said, we're missing something. We don't have that pop. When we first came in, we had a pop. I said, that's because you took my sign down. They filmed me for 5 days. Took all my history, used it, made a movie, made 2 movies. Everything leads back to what God can show me what I'm doing.
Providing a platform for these historical truths is exactly what Larry's mission is all about. Despite facing challenges, and even major production networks trying to alter his vision, Larry's dedication to his faith and authentic storytelling remains the cornerstone of this incredible museum.
Well, I'm trying to keep it alive. When I first opened this museum, I had no idea what was going to happen. But since I opened it, God is keeping it alive. Juneteenth, I remember I was 3 years old. I was riding in a 1950 Ford truck, and I was standing up in the seat. And I remember looking at the Black Cowboys riding on Juneteenth, because my parents always say, it's Juneteenth. I like Juneteenth better than I like Christmas. You know, because when I go to Juneteenth, we had red soda water and we had watermelon. And I couldn't wait to get red soda water and watermelon for Juneteenth. That's what I remember about Juneteenth, but I didn't know the history back then. But when I opened this museum, God started showing me the history of the Black Cowboy. I had an uncle. He was born June 19, 1919. His name was Uncle Willie. Uncle Willie told me, he said, boy, They ain't had no white cowboys when I was young. I said, what they call them? You better not call a white man a cowboy. You better call him a cowhand, a cowman, a cow person, a cow driver, but not a cowboy. Because in Texas, a cowboy was a black man. They would say, hey, go give me that boy that worked them cows. Go give me that boy that worked in the house. He was a house boy. Boy that worked in the yard. He was my yard boy. Go give me that boy that worked them cows. That was my cowboy. That's where the word cowboy came in. And my uncle told me, I said, how did it change? He said, that TV. The cowboy in Texas was a black man. But when he got to Hollywood, they whitewashed him. Just like Ken Burns said. Ken Burns has been whitewashed for decades. And Larry Callies comes from a long line of cowboys back in the day. And he was talking about me on the front page of the New York Times.
It is a powerful reminder that the true origin of the Texas cowboy is deeply intertwined with the African American experience, a legacy that Larry continues to keep alive, bringing national recognition to stories that were once whitewashed by Hollywood. On behalf of the city of Stafford, we want to thank Mr. Callies for his wonderful hospitality and for ensuring that the vital history of the Black Cowboy is never forgotten as we commemorate Juneteenth. For Stafford Weekly News, I am Mal Morales.